President Emmerson Mnangagwa has called for a new era of technological partnership between Africa and Japan, saying cutting-edge innovations are crucial to revolutionizing the continent's key sectors and ensuring no one and no country is left behind in the global digital shift and development. Now, President Mnangagwa said this while addressing the Tokyo International Conference on African Development in Yokohama, Japan. Our correspondent Fungi Kwaramba, who is in Japan, compiled the following report.
Addressing the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD, President Mnangagwa outlined a vision where Zimbabwe and Africa at large forge synergies with Japanese firms, prioritizing critical technology and skills transfer. Currently, Zimbabwe, the president adds, is actively seeking to bridge the digital divide, especially in rural areas, by building modern infrastructure and providing services to all parts of the country.
Zimbabwe is actively pursuing regional digital infrastructure projects to bridge the digital divide, especially in rural areas. Africa's citizens and economies must be enabled to fully participate in the digital age. New technologies must impact our agriculture, mining, blue economies, infrastructure development, and social service delivery.
President Mnangagwa says, as the world shifts to green energy, African countries which are endowed with rich mineral resources such as lithium and rare metals must be brought on board to create synergies that are sustainable and impactful for the people.
Climate change action and adaptation in Africa requires substantial and predictable financing that go in line with the socio-economic development strategies of our countries. The global shift to green energy must see Africa leverage our abundant critical minerals to fully participate in energy value chains. To achieve this, we look forward to synergies with Japanese companies and other investors while also fostering technology and skills transfer.
This year's summit has seen Africa and Japan pioneer a new chapter in their relations, moving from made in Japan to made together. The model saw Japan taking a keen interest in Africa's infrastructure projects, including the massive Batoka Gorge hydroelectric project on the Zimbabwe-Zambia border, the long dormant Grand Inga Dam development on the Congo River, and Zimbabwe's reserves of rare earth minerals. President Mnangagwa says these must lead to the co-creation of a future that improves the lives of African people.
The enduring partnership between Japan and Africa must see us co-create the future we all want, and that is towards a higher quality of life for our peoples. No one and no country must be left behind.
For Zimbabwe, the forum's focus is a strategic alignment as key areas like infrastructure, industrialization, food security and stability dovetail perfectly with the nation's foreign policy and its Central Vision 2030 goal of achieving an upper middle income status.
And now, to help us look into the diplomatic and economic significance of Zimbabwe's participation at the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, let's cross over to Ranga Mataire, the Zim Papers Group political editor. Good evening, Ranga. Ranga, the theme is centered around co-creation, with Japan and the Global South forming a partnership. Now, moving from made in Japan to made together, how important is this policy for Zimbabwe and Africa? This is in terms of economic development.
In terms of Zimbabwe, this is a gateway to a new lifeline, to a new, partnership. The good thing about this is that Japan is seeking equal partnership built out of mutual trust. It is not dictatorial, it is not conditional, but it is a partnership which seeks to build on a humanistic kind of an arrangement. So in terms of Zimbabwe, I think it is critical, especially given its aspiration to attain an upper middle income society. As you are aware, Japan is an expert in terms of cutting edge technology. So Zimbabwe will be able to exploit in terms of technological transfer. And I think the issue that Japan is also competent in terms of infrastructure development aligns well with Zimbabwe's vision for 2030 in terms of economic transformation. So in terms of Zimbabwe, I think this is a critical platform for exploiting new trade frontiers instead of the traditional ones that Zimbabwe has been used to. So I think for Zimbabwe it is very critical. For Africa, I think it opens doors for Africa in order also, as I've alluded before, to exploit non-traditional trade frontiers in the areas of mining, in the areas of manufacturing, in the area of agriculture. So for both Zimbabwe and Africa, this is a critical platform which offers a lifeline in terms of economic transformation and development.
Now, Ranga, President Mnangagwa also had the opportunity to sit down with the Prime Minister of Japan with Zimbabwe's bid for the non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council being one of the subjects that were discussed. So in light of that, how significant is Japan's support to Zimbabwe's bid at the UN?
So the support for Zimbabwe coming from Japan is the effect of swaying the Asian bloc. Already Zimbabwe has support from SADC and support from African Union, and there's the support from a number of Western countries. So the support from Japan adds on to the support that Zimbabwe already has in terms of its bid to become a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. It has lots of advantage if Zimbabwe successfully, becomes a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. As you are aware, Zimbabwe is coming from a period where it was maligned and ostracized. Sanctions were imposed on Zimbabwe. So being a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council offers an opportunity for Zimbabwe to reshape its international image and also advance its national security, national interest. It will also offer Zimbabwe to contribute towards global peace. The UN's National Security Council is one of the most powerful bodies for maintaining peace and security. And Zimbabwe can directly participate in discussions and decisions related to preventing and resolving conflicts. There is also another advantage that Zimbabwe carries. It's not just representing its national interests, it carries the African voice. As you are aware, the Global South has peculiar challenges.